The night was rainy, the streets glistening with reflections of neon lights, as if the world itself were crying with him. Michael, a single dad, sat nervously in his car outside a quiet restaurant, gripping the steering wheel like it could anchor him to some semblance of calm. He hadn't been on a date in over 3 years. After the accident that left his wife gone and his life turned upside down, he had poured all his love and energy into raising his daughter, Lily. He was no stranger to struggle, no stranger to heartache, and yet tonight, something about the mysterious woman he had been set up with tugged at a part of him that had been buried beneath grief. Little did he know, this blind date wasn't just a casual meeting, it was a carefully orchestrated trick by friends who wanted to teach him a lesson about courage, trust, and the unpredictability of life. Before we dive further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the unexpected magic of life, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Kind Tales. Michael's heart raced as the door opened, and a woman was wheeled in. She was striking, her presence commanding, yet her smile soft and inviting. She was in her early 30s, with chestnut hair neatly tied back, wearing a simple but elegant blouse and tailored pants. Her hands rested gently on the wheels of her chair, and her eyes, piercing, intelligent, yet vulnerable, met his with quiet warmth. What struck Michael first was not her beauty but the resilience that seemed to emanate from her very being. She was paralyzed from the waist down, a fact that Michael noticed immediately. The initial conversation was slow and cautious. Michael, unsure of how to navigate this new reality, found himself fumbling for words. He was accustomed to being in control of his life, to handling things with careful precision. And yet, here he was, confronted with a situation he had never faced before, an encounter that required empathy, patience, and an openness he hadn't exercised in years. As they talked, he began to see beyond her disability. He saw humor, intelligence, and a vulnerability that mirrored his own in unexpected ways. For the first time in years, he felt seen not as a father struggling to keep it together but as a man capable of connection, hope, and love. Dinner passed in a series of small revelations. She shared glimpses of her life, of the difficulties she had faced, and Michael found himself drawn into her story, his heart aching at the trials she had endured. She spoke of ambition, of dreams that had once seemed unreachable, and Michael admired the strength it must have taken to forge a path despite the odds. He shared his own story, of loss, of Lily, of sleepless nights and quiet tears in the dark, and for the first time in a long time, he felt understood without judgment. As dessert arrived, the tension that had been quietly building took a sharp turn. His date leaned closer and whispered something that made him pause, confused and intrigued. Behind her calm exterior was a secret that no one at the table could have predicted. She was not just a woman overcoming her own hardships, she was the CEO of a multimillion-dollar company, a visionary leader whose identity had been hidden to test Michael's character. The revelation hit him like a thunderclap. All this time, she had been more than she appeared, and he realized that every laugh, every shared story, every moment of vulnerability had been genuine, untouched by pretense. He had been tricked, but not in a cruel way. It was a test of heart, a reminder that life often rewards courage and openness in the most unexpected forms. The revelation brought a flood of emotions. Michael's mind raced with disbelief and admiration, but also with humility. He thought about how easily people could be swayed by appearances, how society often measures worth by external factors rather than the depth of character. Here was a woman paralyzed in body but unstoppable in spirit, sitting across from a man who had spent years nurturing love and compassion despite tragedy. They had met in a world of hidden truths, yet what they shared in those hours was genuine, profound, and transformative. Over the following weeks, Michael and his date, now revealed as Elise, began to build a connection that went far beyond the superficial. They faced challenges together, the public scrutiny that came with Elise's role, the practical realities of her disability, and the delicate balancing act of Michael's responsibilities as a father. And through it all, Michael discovered strength he hadn't known he possessed. He learned to advocate, to fight, to trust, and to love without fear. Elise, in turn, found in Michael a partner whose heart was as steadfast and kind as the life he had built for his daughter. One rainy afternoon, months later, Michael took Lily to meet Elise at her office. Lily's eyes widened at the glass towers, the busy staff, and the sight of Elise confidently navigating the corporate world in her wheelchair. But what caught Lily's attention most was the tenderness in the way Elise greeted them, the gentle humor and warmth that instantly made her feel safe. That day, Michael realized that life's surprises, no matter how unusual or challenging, could bring extraordinary joy if one had the courage to embrace them. Their story became one of inspiration for those around them. Friends marveled at the unlikely pairing, strangers took hope from their journey, and Michael, who had once believed his heart was closed to new beginnings, found that love could arrive not as a forceful wave but as a quiet, persistent tide, reshaping everything in its path. As they watched the sunset together one evening, Michael reflected on the twist of fate that had brought Elise into their lives. What began as a trick, a playful, risky ploy by friends, had turned into a profound lesson about humanity, resilience, and the power of seeing beyond appearances. Life, he realized, didn't always hand out second chances in obvious packages, but sometimes, the universe had a way of delivering the most extraordinary gifts in the most unexpected forms. If this story touched your heart, please engage with this video, like, share, and comment. Let us know how acts of kindness, resilience, and courage have changed your life. Before you leave, please drop a comment sharing your thoughts about how unexpected love or second chances have shaped your own journey. Because in the end, it isn't the wealth, the status, or the appearance that defines us, it's the heart, the choices we make, and the love we allow ourselves to receive. Michael and Elise had discovered that truth together, and their story stood as a quiet, enduring reminder that even in life's most bewildering moments, hope and kindness could light the darkest paths.